are super excited to have you. So I'll kind of explain like what this is,
Okay.
and then we'll just go from there.
All
But
right.
so um, we basically wanted to start this thing to it's called Behind the Music, uh,
Mm-hmm.
to showcase what like we both see because we both kind of work in this industry, but a lot of the fans like don't really see what happens aside from like coming to the show. Like they see the nice perfectly parked buses and
Mm-hmm.
the stage setup and the product tables with the nice laid out merch, but they don't get to see what y'all do aside from that. So we're just going to showcase
Yes,
you, Wes.
the non-glamorous part of what we do, which is the majority.
Yes. So we're going to showcase you. And I was like, who better than to have than the most amazing tenor, Wes Hampton.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
I just hope that you're right in the feels. But do you have any questions, comments, or concerns before we start?
Nope. Bring it on.
Okay. So tell us how you joined the vocal band and how many years you've been in the vocal band.
Sure. All right. Well, I would say 15 years ago this month is when I auditioned, and I was leading worship at a church. I was an associate worship leader, and I was not even the head guy. I was just kind of a helper, and I always dreamed of doing this. But I had given that up. It wasn't going to happen. So I was a pre-med major, and I remember God telling me to walk out of class, and He didn't want me to do that. And I thought, well, I'm supposed to be a doctor, but okay. And I went and worked part-time at a church, thinking this is not what I want to do. You know, this is fine. I enjoy it. You know, I make a pretty decent living, but this is not fulfilling to me. This is not what I feel like God has for me. You know, there has to be something else. And we had a mutual friend who lived in Indiana at the time, and she was best friends with Suzanne, one of Bill's oldest daughter, Bill Gaither's oldest daughter. And she knew that I loved the vocal band, so she got some stuff I had recorded at the church to Bill. We sent
Wow.
some stuff to her. She got it to Bill. And then I didn't think much of it, honestly. We sent it off, and I thought, no one's going to call. You know, they have so many people that are auditioning for this. They won't even see mine. And Guy called me 3 days later. Andrea and I were singing at a wedding, headed home. And I didn't answer the call because I didn't recognize the number. And so I called him back, and that started a 7-week audition. And the very end of that audition process was the Billy Graham Crusade, the last one in New York City. And that was, again, as I said, 15 years ago. So here we are today, and I'm kind of the veteran of the group besides Bill. So I never thought that would be me ever.
Look at that. Well, talk about like your first moment, like you walked out on stage and you were like, oh my goodness, that's Bill Gaither. I'm on stage with Bill Gaither. Like,
Yeah, it was
talk about
crazy.
that first
The
moment.
very first public performance I had, the very first public one was it was in Indiana, and I think it was Anderson, and it was a Church of God convention, I believe. And this was right before the Billy Graham Crusade. So right before my final audition. This was the night before, I think, and then we did New York the next day. And I was so nervous, so nervous. And I remember I had to I had to use the restroom, and whenever I this is probably TMI, but whenever I do get too nervous, I have to go pee. So I had to go, and because I was just so nervous, and there was all this waiting around, and so I go to the restroom, and then I hear someone, Wes, they're going on. So I run out straight out of the bathroom, and if you know anything about me, I'm kind of a germaphobe, and I was so rushed that I didn't even wash my hands,
Oh no.
which is a big deal for me. Ran out, went on stage, and sang a couple songs with the vocal band, and that was my first performance. So yeah, I was quite nervous leading up to that. And then the Billy Graham Crusade, I was even more scared. I was just terrified. Um, so yeah, it's still surreal to look over some nights and to see Bill right there. He's usually to my left. Look to my left and see Bill there, and he's just standing right next to me. I think, wow, this is the guy that I've listened to his music pretty much
Yeah.
my whole life. And now he's my boss and he's my friend. And I get to sing with this legend. So it's still pretty surreal even after all these 15 years of doing it. It's still pretty crazy to think about, honestly.
That's great. Oh my goodness. Well, you hadn't worked, or had you worked in like the music industry per se prior to the vocal band?
No, I had no experience at all in the music industry as far as unless you count church work. I mean
Yeah.
that was it. I was on staff at a church. That was it. I knew nothing of the music industry, how anything worked. I'd even tried before the vocal band to try to get some solo, like a solo ministry, solo concert ministry going, and I could not. No one would return calls. I remember saying, "Hey, I'll come sing at your church for free. Just let me come and sing," and people wouldn't call back, and I got really discouraged. I thought, well, maybe I'm not supposed to sing, and well, I'm not gonna be a doctor now. I quit school for that and got a music degree in psychology of all things, and can't do much with either of those unless you want to teach. And I certainly did not want to teach.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of sitting there wondering, what in the world have I done? I have really messed up my life so far. And then God totally turning the corner and then taking me in the direction that he wanted me to go. So it's pretty cool. And even now, in the middle of all this uncertainty, we're going on 8 weeks now of no concerts, of no singing, no work for me. And the vocal band's paid. We're paid per concert, so we're not on a salary.
Yeah.
So when we don't sing, we don't get paid. And there's been times, to be pretty candid with you, there've been times these past few weeks where I get kind of anxious and think, gosh, if I were a doctor, I'd have work right now. I would not be worried about going out there and making a living, providing for my family. And right now, I cannot do that because there is no work.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to sing. So, but then God reminds me of where He's brought me from and the things He has done in my life, and that He will continue to provide for us, and He'll work things out, whether it is in music or whether it's some other avenue. I'm going to trust. I'm going to trust regardless of whatever direction He takes you, whether it's the food direction or. I don't know. I'm wide open to whatever God wants for me. I hope it's music, but the way this is going right now, I can't keep going this direction for a lot longer before I have to look at another career choice. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully that everything turns up soon.
Oh
Hope,
yes.
fingers
Yes. So right,
crossed.
right now, August will be the earliest I'll work is August. So that's kind
Yeah.
of the best case scenario right now is August. So my fingers are crossed that August comes around. I have a couple of solo things in August. Then we have the vocal band reunion that's scheduled for August as well. So I'm praying that those things pan out for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, speaking of the vocal band reunion, what does like a typical concert day look like for you, whether it's solo or whether it's vocal band?
Well, solo and vocal band are kind of different for me. With the vocal band, I typically will go to bed pretty late, typically midnight, 12:30, sometimes 1 in the morning, because it takes me a while after a concert to settle down, just for my nerves and just everything in my body just to kind of take a deep breath. And so typically I go to bed pretty late, but then I will sleep late too. I'll sleep till I usually cannot sleep past 10:30. That's like the latest I can sleep. I just get sore. I have to get out of the bed. So basically, I will sleep late on concert mornings. For me, my voice needs about 9 hours to kind of reset for the next concert after a full night of singing. And then I will just walk out to the lobby of the bus and get at least one cup of coffee. I just get my black coffee, sit down, and I just kind of just slowly sip and just kind of wake up. And sometimes Reggie will come out and he'll want to talk, and I'll just say, no, not yet, not yet. I'm not ready to talk. And and I'll finish my coffee, and then typically also I like to do my quiet time in the morning. Just get that the first thing of the day. It really kind of sets the tone for the whole day. And a lot of times I would actually even do that in my bunk before we even got a bunk. I actually just read, read some scripture and pray and stuff in my bunk so that I'm uninterrupted. So people
Yeah.
won't, bother me at all because I need that time to concentrate because I'm not a great multitasker sometimes. I need full concentration.
Yeah.
So if I have somebody talking to me, asking questions or playing music or watching TV, my mind's just like, what? I can't focus for anything. So once I do that, then I will get breakfast and then I would typically start looking for a place to go work out. I'll go look and see if there's a Planet Fitness nearby. Or so a lot of times the facility where we are, the church will have a workout facility there, with weights or whatever. And then we'll kind of get the guys together. Adam and I forget their names now because it's been so long. Adam and Reggie, typically we'll sleep a little later, at 11 o'clock, 11:30 or so. And I'll say, hey, man, I found a place. Let's go work out. And they'll say, yeah. So we'll head out in about an hour or so and go find a place to work out. And then we'll usually clean up there. If it's at a Planet Fitness because they have showers there, we'll just take our suitcases there, clean up there, come back. And then by the time we get back, clean up, work out, all that, we're typically within an hour, hour and a half, or 2 hours of sound check. We go sound check after sound check. That's typically 45 minutes at least, sometimes an hour of singing on mics. We call it the pre-concert concert. And then we will go do dinner after that, and then go back to the bus and start getting ready, picking out our clothes and ironing and all that stuff. So, and then and then before I go work out, let's go back. Before I go work out, I typically go set up my product table. So I go out to the lobby and open up my case and put my cloth down. I don't have anybody that does that for me. I set up my backdrop and make sure all the CDs are restocked, the cookbooks are out, and everything's set. I make sure my iPad's out there, my Square card reader set up, and all that, and then I get all that settled, and then I go work out, just to know that that's done. And really, that's it. Then it comes concert time, and we repeat. Play, repeat, play, repeat.
Love it. Oh my goodness. But so you talked about like your typical concert day, but then when you get off the road, um, sometimes you're still not done. Like you still have like projects to work on, whether it's like a new recording. So like talk about that process a little bit. Like what does that look like when you come home and like there's still stuff to do aside from what maybe some people might.
Typically, we bus out of Nashville, and still live in Birmingham. So I would just get my car whenever we get back to Nashville. I will get in my car, drive back to Birmingham, and typically that's on a Sunday morning. And a lot of times I'm at home in time to go to church, which is great. I'll get home and the house is still quiet because typically it's really really early when I get home.
Yeah.
And I'll take a shower, then we'll be ready to go to church. And but a lot of times when we are, sorry, there's someone I'm in my studio, which is in the basement. Someone's out there making a racket. Sorry.
You're fine.
Shh. Anyway, so a lot of times in the summer, the vocal band is off the road typically in the summer, but the summer is typically when the vocal band works on recordings.
Yeah.
So I would, be quote unquote off from the road, but I'm still going to Nashville to work on vocal band projects. Now, since we're in the middle of the quarantine right now, I'm actually been working on a new vocal band song at home. I'm halfway through a new song Bill and Gloria just wrote. It's amazing, called Here I Stand. And you can see back behind me, there's my little lyric sheet. I worked on it last night. I'm about halfway done with the song. And I might try to finish that up this evening, get that done, and then I will send my files off to the studio, and then they will get everything tweaked and mixed in with everyone else's vocals. So typically when I'm off the road, I'm doing stuff like this, or I'm working on, finishing up my next cookbook right now. I've actually sent stuff off to the designer. She's already putting stuff together. So, during this quarantine, I'm staying pretty busy working on I'm finishing up another solo project, finishing up a vocal band project, finishing up this cookbook. So, and then I'm doing YouTube stuff. I've got my YouTube
all those
channel,
cooking things.
really trying to push that. So, I'm staying busy. I'm staying busy.
I mean,
and we just finished homeschool this week. Praise the Lord. So.
That's exciting. Like if there was like YouTube smell-o-vision, that would be perfect. That would be a good way to market your cookbook.
Gotta figure out a way to do that.
Yeah.
I think
add that to your list.
That would be cool.
It
That
would
would
be.
be very cool, especially those sugar waffles. My lands. Mm.
They look delicious. I'm just
Oh my gosh, they are so good. I had a dear friend text me and said, "Yeah, I made your sugar waffles today." Actually, she said I made them today, and she said the outside was great, but the inside was not right. And I said, "Well, did you let it rise enough?" She goes, "I'm not sure." I said, "Well, it should be at least doubled in volume, even triple." She goes, "Oh no, I didn't wait long enough." So, uh, but if you do them right, they are quite amazing. Actually, we were playing a family game last night of Clue. You remember Clue? Board game
I love
Clue?
that game. Nobody
We
in my family likes to play it, so I always like
Oh, we,
round
we
up
love
anyone,
it.
like somebody on the street to play it with me.
Oh, totally. And they probably would.
Yeah.
But we were playing that last night, and I typically once we eat dinner, I'm done for the night. I don't go back and have a snack. I don't do ice cream or anything. I'm done. Once dinner's done, I'm done until the next day.
Yeah.
And Suddy brought one of those sugar waffles because I make a lot at once and then I freeze them.
Yeah.
And then all you have to do is just put it in the microwave for 20 seconds, kind of thaw it out, and then put it in the toaster and get them real crispy on the outside because they're still soft in the middle. And Suddy brought one of those and just right next to me eating it, and it was just killing me. Oh, son, you are just killing me. That smells so good. I want so badly, but I didn't.
That's
I did
good.
not. Control.
That's good. Control is important.
It is.
So, Wes, tell us your like you've kind of said a few things it could possibly be, but we've asked all the dignified questions we can possibly ask you. Now, because this is my idea, now some people on the team did not agree, but this is my idea. And so I had to Megan it up a little bit.
Sure.
Tell us your most embarrassing moment ever, whether it's been with a fan on stage, with other artists. We want to know.
Okay, I have two actually. One was with a vocal band. This was several years ago, but I always chew gum on stage, and if I have a solo, I usually will take it out if I'm going to do a solo if I know I got a feature. Um, but one night, I'm dealing with allergies 24/7, all year round. Doesn't matter what season it's in. I'm always I always have stuff, congestion in my vocal cords, and I'm always kind of stuffy. And I've had sinus surgeries. I've tried pretty much every kind of allergy medication. People, oh, have you tried? Yes, yes, I have tried that. I have thought to try Flonase. Yes, I have. Uh, so anyway, we were in the middle of a song, and I go to clear my throat, and I didn't cover my mouth. My gum went floop, and it flies out of my mouth into the audience. I don't know where it went. I was just thinking, oh dear Lord, help me. Oh. And I was just praying that Bill didn't see me. So that was pretty embarrassing. I also did a vocal band concert one time with my pants unzipped the entire first half. So that was exciting. Um, One time I did a solo event. This was just a few years ago, and I don't know if you remember Geraldine and Ricky,
No,
but
I
they were part of a lot of Gaither videos years ago, and they were part of Homecomings as well. But Geraldine has this little mannequin named Ricky, and she's quite a good ventriloquist. She's very good. Anyway, her husband at the time, David, was very very sick. Had been in hospice and just had cancer. It was just awful. It was awful. And she came to a concert that I was doing locally to support me. And I heard that he had recently passed away. I was just so sad for her, and I was setting up a song, and I said, Geraldine, I'm going to sing this song for you with the passing of your husband, David. I'm so sorry. And people were just like, oh, that's horrible. And she goes, well, actually, Wes, he didn't die. He's still alive. And I wanted to say, are you sure? Because I heard that he had passed away. Um, I remember the words I said was she lost her husband. And she goes, oh, no, no. I said, in Walmart, she lost her husband the other day at Walmart. They were there, and she had no clue where he went, trying to salvage it. And I just wanted to die. I just wanted to drop the microphone and just say, I'm an idiot. I'm done singing. I'm going to go work at Home Depot. Good night. Yeah, so that was it.
Oh my
It is.
goodness.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
those are
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
That was
I'm not gonna
wow.
lie, I didn't think you would have multiple, but like that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
It's a good one. My last
That
one
is
is
a
a good
good
one.
one.
Yeah, it
Oh
is.
my word. But do you have a highlight from your like whole career that like is etched
Well,
in your
one of the
brain?
highlights was my final audition. That last Billy Graham crusade was pretty amazing to know this was his last one, and I got to be got to be a part of that. And I was the guy that he called to do that. It was just mind blowing to me. And then another one was we sang at Billy Graham's memorial service
Yeah.
a couple of years ago. That was probably the biggest honor career-wise for me was being asked to sing at that. That was amazing, and that was another one of those moments where I was pretty nervous about it, but then right before God reminded me, hey, this is not about you. This is about honoring this man. So get out there and do what I called you to do and do it well and get over yourself. So that's what I did. And it was as far as the singing conditions, it was kind of the worst of all scenarios singing wise. You couldn't hear well. It was a terrible sound system. There was one little monitor wedge right there, a tiny one, literally about that big for us to
Oh
share.
no.
So all our voices were coming out of this one little monitor that sounded like something you buy at Radio Shack from 1984. And it was windy, it was cold, it was just all these different variables that were all negative. But we still sang through that, and I was proud of the guys too. I thought they did a great job, and they represented, I think, Bill and Gloria well too, and hopefully did some justice to that great song.
Wow. I love that. Oh my goodness. But before I let you go, I have a story for you. It's been heavy on my heart, and if I don't share it with you, Wes, like burdens will not be lifted.
Mm.
So it just is
You're not meant
something.
to hear that.
Yeah, I don't want to have to carry that. So, you know, like just about half of like Gaither fans across America, like, my family, we grew up going to Gaither concerts. Gaither came to the area, we were there. Our relatives from who knows where came. They called us, we might not even know them, and they were there. So we came to the concert, and this was like right at the transition where um, Guy had left the group, and Michael and Mark and
Mm-hmm.
David were coming back in. But at this particular concert, Marsh was still with you all. And so like we arrived to the arena, but like we like fill a row. Like it's like legit, like family reunion at a Gaither concert. Like
Sure.
no
Yeah.
joke. Like matching t-shirts, everything.
Mm.
It's kind of
Mm.
embarrassing.
Impressive.
But so 12-year-old me is like getting ready to go out to the product table. My grandfather like hands me money. He's like, go out and get something, like make a memory. And so like it's only like $5. And so I go out to the Gaither table and I pick up your poster because I'm like, I don't know this guy. Like maybe like this looks like cool, like a fun type of thing to purchase with $5. And so I pick up your poster and then we continue to walk down the concourse, and everyone's like, you should get it signed. Go up and meet him at intermission. And I'm like, yeah, I think I will. I think I will. And so we continue to walk down. Then we stop at David's table. And I'm like, David Phelps is like my favorite singer. I would love to meet this guy. And my 12-year-old brain is like going like, it's like the Energizer Bunny right now. So my mom buys like a new CD, and the guy's like, David's gonna be out at intermission if you want to meet him. So I'm like, yes, Mom, we're meeting David. And my family's like, well, what about Wes? You just got that poster. And I'm like, oh, he can wait. He'll be there next time. No, it gets better, Wes. It gets better. So then we go back, and through the whole concert, they're like, you got that picture of Wes, you're just gonna leave it blank? Like, who does that? And I'm like, well, I guess I do. So then we get in line. This is me at 12. So we get in line for David. I'm the first one in line. And like, I don't know what I'm going to say. So we get in line, we meet him, and like David is at one end and like you're at the other. And 1,000 of my best friends are like filling the concourse of this arena. And I meet David and I have no energy to like do anything else because like the intermission is like at 8:39 and my bedtime is like right then. So
Yeah, mine too.
yeah, it's legit. But my cousins had gone to meet you and Marshall down at the other end, and they call us and they're like, Wes and Marsh are out. They're really nice. You gotta meet them. So we're like, my mom's like, I don't think Megan wants to. And they're like, she has the poster. Who doesn't want to meet them if they have the poster? And I'm like, this is turning into a whole situation. I just don't want to do it anymore. So we go back in, sit down. And moral of the story was, I had to bring this out of the closet. This is the poster that I had.
And it's never signed.
It was never signed. And the David Phelps, everything that we got from David's table was completely signed. And I just wanted to say, if like I could redo a moment, I would redo that moment. Burdens have been lifted.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
You got to bring that. I've got to sign that. I was much younger in that picture right there. Holy cow.
Yeah, this was like
how young I look.
This was like so the very beginning. Like I don't even think you had your own table. Like this was at the Gaither table.
No, I didn't have my own table till probably probably close to 10 years ago. 10 years ago. But yeah, that picture there was in, gosh, that was in about 2006, that picture was.
Wow. Yeah.
So here we are 14 years later.
Going through the quarantine.
I've aged. Yes.
Anyway.
It's all right. It's all right. I still feel good. Age is only a number. Age is just a number.
Just a number. Just a number. But I appreciate
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Yeah, I just felt like I needed to share it because if there would be a moment that I would redo over, I wouldn't have met David. I just want you to know.
True. Was he at least nice to you? Was he nice?
Oh yes, he was very nice. I mean, like I still have the picture hanging on the fridge. My 12-year-old short self. Not that I've grown very much. But still have the picture on the fridge, and yeah. But just to let you know, like
that's
you met
great.
My cousins. You never met me until like maybe like 5 years. Yeah, I don't know. Probably would have been 5 years later.
Well, I will not hold that against you. I promise you.
That's good.
I'm glad that you can unload that burden. Now you can sleep once again.
Yeah, it's been a whole like 10 years no sleep.
You've got to be exhausted. You've got to be exhausted.
Oh my God. It's been fun, Wes. I'm so glad.
It has been fun, Megan. Thank you so much. I've enjoyed this.
You took the time. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I wish you the best with all this. I hope it goes incredibly well. And I hope to see you and your family at a concert soon.
Hopefully.
Well, Megan, thanks again. It was fun.
It was fun. Have a great rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Tell your family hey for me.
I will. Bye.
Bye.